an interesting watch to see what's going on with chips nearly on a daily basis. But I mean, at a minimum, they've just become very volatile to watch. Joe, as you look at them, we had another strong earnings season, but the chips just can't decide which direction they want to go in. What is the market struggling to price right now?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. So yeah, when you look at the chip sector volatility over the last few weeks, I mean, the core question you kind of have to ask is the volatility being driven by technical kind of momentum-based profit taking, or has there been an actual structural shift in the fundamental AI spend story? So if you look at the data, the fundamental story hasn't changed at all. In fact, it was actually just deeply reinforced by the recent earning prints out of these hyperscalers. So just looking at the numbers, Amazon just raised its CapEx guide by like $20 billion. And they actually stated that even at this level, they don't have enough capacity to meet the AI demand. Same story out of Alphabet. And so the cash is absolutely still flowing into the infrastructure. The volatility we're seeing is kind of purely macro noise in our view. It's really being driven by headline anxiety over Chinese memory players like CMXT, and also driven by just simple fear over how fast these stocks have run up. So this isn't a broken cycle or a demand problem. The demand is absolutely still there. It's kind of a classic temporary overreaction where the market is confusing technical consolidation with actual fundamental decay.
And Stephen, I'd love to get your thoughts here on how you're looking at this recent volatility. Are they similar to Joe's?
I think so. I think we're not seeing any fall off in demand whatsoever. In fact, the companies that are producing these chips are producing as many as they possibly can, and the demand is still voracious on the other side. I do think that what we're seeing is the almost the penalty for good behavior, where you've had a phenomenal run, and what that has taught us all is that these companies are able to produce. It seems like the news is only really allowed to be good. And so I think the companies are delivering on solid good news, but that raises expectations each cycle. So I think what I'm seeing is the demand is there. We are starting to see the monetization of AI that supports some of those CapEx arguments. And what I'm really looking for is the migration of demand from those hyperscalers, from those frontier labs into the enterprise over the next year or two. That's where you're going to see the continued really explosion of demand for AI as we try to supply it from a very complicated semi.
Nvidia is beginning to fade into obscurity. Despite its recent poor performance, the artificial intelligence AI bellwether is still at the top of the market cap list. In essence, Nvidia concluded July where it began. The stock has lagged behind the market in all areas, with an 8% year-to-date gain and a 13% increase over the previous year. Volatility is something fresh that August promises. With a great valuation and a crucial financial statement in just 3 weeks, Nvidia is prepared to differentiate itself once more. 1. Finally, earnings season has here. After the market ends on August 26th, Nvidia's stock will move. It will undoubtedly move significantly higher or lower over the last few days of August, but it is unlikely to march in place until then, as it did last month. There are high expectations. According to analysts, sales for the fiscal second quarter that concluded last week increased by 96% to $91.85 billion. The bottom line follows suit, with earnings per share almost doubling to $2.08 from a profit of $1.05 per share a year prior. According to recent trends, Nvidia will perform marginally better than anticipated. In each of the last 4 quarterly reports, it has exceeded Wall Street's earnings projection by 3% to 6%. At first look, that may seem consoling, yet recent history reappears. The 4 purple circles show the dates that Nvidia released its quarterly results for the previous 12 months. In each of the 4 instances, the shares experienced a significant decline in value. The market was not impressed with small earnings beats and stellar top-line growth. This time, Nvidia will require more resources, and fortunately, the stock's summertime energy conservation may help. Look at that chart one last time. Have you observed that the stock is now more expensive than it was at the time of the last earnings report? Selling was the first response, but after a few weeks, if not months, a rally finally paid off. This time, things are different, with Nvidia trading significantly lower. Following an Nvidia earnings release, a departure from the pattern might be the catalyst for the stock to rise for the first time in over a year. 2. Despite the stock chart, momentum is increasing. Sometimes short-term price movement can be brutal. It will be the fourth quarter in a row that Nvidia's top-line growth has accelerated if the company even approaches the 96% year-over-year revenue increase that the market anticipates. In its most recent financial report, revenue increased by 63%, 73%, and 85%, compared to a 56% growth in the fiscal second quarter of the previous year. Nvidia is doing this while it's not even close to full strength, which is the cherry on top of this sundae of broken fundamentals. China, the second biggest economy in the world, nevertheless has trade limitations. AI chip manufacturers are stuck in the equivalent of an elementary school speed zone due to supply chain limitations. Although they face similar challenges, Nvidia's rivals are also making progress in this area. Compared to its stock chart, Nvidia appears more appealing. It exceeds the sum of the earnings season falls, which it overcame to get to a higher level before the sector rotation this summer. If you have the luxury of patience to see this through, Nvidia will be all right. 3. Nvidia used to be inexpensive, and it is currently even less expensive. During the slump, investors in Nvidia have not lost money. Even with double-digit returns, there are worse outcomes than simply treating July like a staring contest and losing to the market throughout the previous year. The analysts kept pushing their profit predictions higher even though the stock went on a circular trip to nowhere last month. According to analysts, Nvidia will make $9 per share this fiscal year and $12.89 per share in fiscal 2028, which begins in less than 6 months. A month ago, and even a month earlier, those consensus estimates were lower. 3 months ago, Wall Street was projecting a consensus profit per share of $8.34 for fiscal 2027 and $11.23 for the following year. In August, Nvidia is trading at a respectable 22 times current fiscal year's earnings and less than 16 times the projection for next year. When it comes to Nvidia, now is a fantastic time to be a market contrarian. Let's now hear August's thoughts on the matter. The setup was described as the largest infrastructure expansion in human history by Jensen Huang on Nvidia's most recent call. That is supported by the numbers. With data center revenue of $75.246 billion and networking growth of 199%, Nvidia reported Q1 FY27 revenue of $81.615 billion, up 85.23% year over year. At $200.75 boys, shares are only up 7.77% thus far this year. Nvidia is trading at over 40 times trailing earnings at $200.75. Management has secured $119 billion in supplier agreements, and Q2 FY27 projection calls for $91 billion in revenue at a 75% non-GAAP gross margin. Nvidia has a reasonable runway to $300, a nearly 50% gain, thanks to 4 consecutive EPS beats, a new $80 billion buyback authorization, and the Vera Rubin ramp until 2027. A few years ago, gaming was Nvidia's main source of income. Since data centers now account for a growing portion of company sales, the AI build-out has changed that. Data center sales accounted for 92%, $75.2 billion of its total revenue of $81.6 billion in its fiscal first quarter of 2027, which concluded on April 26, 2026. Investors are worried about a possible slowdown in AI infrastructure spending, even though Nvidia and other chipmakers hit fresh highs earlier this year. Here's why Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang says there's still a lot of money to be made and addresses the question of whether the company's reliance on AI expenditure is a problem. In recent months, semiconductor stocks have experienced several declines. Early in June, the market capitalization of chipmakers and AI stocks fell by a total of $1.3 trillion. Huang presented the downturn as a chance to purchase at a reduced price while he was in Seoul on June 8th. Additionally, he stated that the development of AI is still in its early stages. More recently, in late July, Huang met with Mike Allen, co-founder of Axios, who stated that he didn't think the semiconductor sector was ready for a bust. This time is different, according to Huang, because the demand is infrastructure-driven rather than consumer-driven, despite the business's past cyclical nature. Additionally, according to the CEO of Nvidia, the semiconductor sector should be 5 to 10 times larger than it is, He then narrowed his forecast to the upper end of that range in an interview with Bloomberg. The CEO of the biggest chip maker's optimism about chips makes logical, yet this is still an extremely optimistic prediction. The World Semiconductor Trade Statistics Organization projects that the semiconductor market will grow to $1.51 trillion in 2026. A compound annual growth rate, CAGR, of 26% would be needed to reach a 10x increase, or $15.1 trillion in 10 years. It is feasible to achieve that level of growth for a year or even a few years, but maintaining it for 10 years would be extremely difficult. So far, Huang's assessment of AI spending has been accurate. In its fiscal Q1 2027, Nvidia's sales increased 85% year over year, demonstrating the company's steady growth. Hyperscalers keep raising or maintaining their capital expenditure recommendations. For instance, in late July, Amazon increased its full-year guidance from $200 billion to $220 billion. This expenditure level, meanwhile, might not continue, particularly if it doesn't result in significant returns for AI firms. Nvidia's profitability might be severely impacted if any hyperscalers pull back because the chipmaker's income is concentrated in a small number of clients as well as data centers. 3 direct customers make about 54% of its revenue, according to a recent filing. Given its position as the top GPU manufacturer, Nvidia continues to appear to be one of the better AI investments. However, investors should be aware of the dangers associated with its client concentration and reliance on data center spending.